Hello and welcome to PAXTON Road TV. I'm Sam Spurs for Life, and this is your first PAXTON Road TV Champions League reaction show. Sorry it wasn't last night. A little bit of technical difficulties. It was late anyway. Plus, it weren't that great a performance, shall we say, but the results there. So before we start the stream, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And now we can introduce the remaining guests on the panel. As always, in the house, Sid Spurs, Darius 3K. Welcome to the stream, guys. How we doing? I like that. Oh, yes. I've seen the private chat. I've seen the private. Last time on the private chat, I was all messed up. My head was gone because the whole stream was going pear-shaped, but I've seen the private chat. No worries. Good afternoon. It's a little bit different. We're afternoon. I've got a day off. That's why. Yeah. Let's put our banners up before I start bloody going on. Tottenham 2, Marseille 1, Champions League. Is that all? Oh, bloody hell. Spelling errors. I can't have that. 2-0 to Tottenham in the first of our Champions League Group D games. And start with you, Darius. We kind of watched that together yesterday. I don't think we were jumping around at all. We weren't making that much noise, but I must admit, I want a little statue of my man, Crymore Richarlison. He is, for me, going to be a quality. Well, he's already a quality player, but in terms of not necessarily a hero, but certainly a player that's going to be mentioned in years to come at Spurs. What did you think of the game?
Yeah, just on that, in my opinion, Richarlison is already levels ahead of Lamela. Don't care how much Lamela's done. Don't care how many Rabona goals. I can already tell that Richarlison is going to be levels above Lamela. So I'm so happy it could have been him. So happy for him. But if we look at the game in general, on the whole, I think Sam's right. I think it probably wasn't, the best performance. Good performance. You couldn't even call it a good performance, to be fair with you. But at the end of the day, in the second half, we came out and this has been sort of repetitive. This has been common for Spurs this season. We've started slow. We've come out in the second half. Don't know what Conte says to them. Don't know what if he's got like a pre-made speech that he says for the second half that just automatically makes him kick in. I don't know if it's a spell. I don't know what it is, but whatever he says in that second half gets that team going. And, Son, who still hasn't played well the whole season, gets a player sent off and the game changes after that. And I know people can still be mad. You play against a team with 10 men. You want to score as many goals, have as many attacks as possible. But in my opinion, once they did go down to 10 men, there was only going to be one result. They had one chance maybe with Kolasinac putting the ball across the box. But apart from that, it was pure domination. And even in the first half, they may have controlled the game more in the first half, but they definitely didn't look like they were going to score, in my opinion anyway. So I think overall, it was maybe in terms of performance, not a dominant one, but in terms of result, I couldn't ask for a better result. For Richarlison, I couldn't ask for a better performance from Richarlison. For Kulusevski to come on in right wing back and make a difference, that could potentially be, the answer to us being able to break down low blocks in the Premier League, playing him as a right wing back. So, yeah, there's a lot of positives to take from this game, and I'm very happy. A team like Marseille, who haven't lost this season, I know it was at our ground, but to go against Marseille and take 3 points clean sheet. And performances from most of the team were pretty good, to be fair. I'm over the moon. And let me put this out there. Liverpool and Chelsea both didn't win their games in the Champions League. So it ain't easy, and we've done it. And I'm happy that we've got those points on the board now. So we go to Man City on the weekend knowing that we've got a good result here. And hopefully we can go and bring that form on to beat that team, because I don't think it's going to be easy at all.
You're right. It ain't easy.
Ain't gonna be
easy in the Champions League. It ain't easy in the Premier League afterwards. I'm just going to touch on Kevin's here. Totally disagree. I thought it was a brilliant display by Spurs. I would say it's a brilliant result. I think they had 11v11. I called on the preview show. I think I said, or when Sid was asking for actual predictions, I said 1-1. I thought it was going to be a tight game. It would have been a tight game, and I didn't think Marseille had a lot in terms of goal threat. I think they were neat and tidy around the box. As we've talked about before, Spurs are very much compact in their shape. The 5-4-1, when you get into that defensive shape, is quite quite clear to see now, you know, when everybody drops in, there's distances between the front line and the back line. They move across, they do all the rest of it. So I weren't too concerned about Marseille. Yes, they might have gotten behind once or twice, but I don't see a lot of teams scoring a lot of goals against us, if I'm brutally honest. Sid, I know you watched the game, didn't get to make it, but what's your thoughts?
I think we've said this now, innit? It's going to be results more over performances. Wasn't the best of performance in terms of entertaining football, end-to-end stuff. I don't think we had a shot in the. I think apart from that the Kane shot, but then again, that wasn't even on target. So I don't think either.
I think Richarlison's goal was the first one, Sid.
Yeah, there you go.
It was the first shot on target.
First shot on target. So yeah. First off, I think both teams were very negative. I was quite surprised actually with Marseille because they're on level with PSG in the French league, and maybe Payet is injured, but I think Sanchez might have been a big miss for him. But one player doesn't make the whole team, so I was well disappointed, absolutely well disappointed with them. I was absolutely ecstatic every time Guendouzi got the ball and he got hammered by the Spurs fans. That was brilliant, you know. I think Spurs fans forgot that Tavares also played for them as well because he didn't get no stick whatsoever.
He actually plays for them as well. He's on their books still. He's still on their books.
Which I think was weird because even my boy said, Dad, I don't think that Spurs fans realise that Tavares plays for him and he's on loan to them. I
don't even think Arsenal knew he played for them, to be honest.
No.
So how would we know? You know
nah, Sam, that's the only reason those gooners were watching on Wednesday night because they wanted to see their all. There was about 6 or 7 Arsenal players on that bloody team yesterday. Said tell you what, it was a horrible sight. Horrible sight.
No, this is it. But I think Conte with his Champions League, I think we're gonna see a lot of not negative, but a lot of defensive style of play, and then break up through the middle and counter attack because we can on counter attack. We've got now 4 players that can do the counter, and I think we're going to see a lot of that until we get into the knockout stages, and then it might change. But in these group stages, I think we're going to see a lot of sitting back and then killing teams on the counter.
Yeah, I think this is a way of playing. We've maybe touched on it before. I have to now get my head into this way of playing. It's a good way of playing, to be honest with you, because it can be played at home and away. I think the problem last night was everybody was up for it. 2 years out of the Champions League, the first game at home, the crowd, it was absolutely fire from when I watched on the TV, and I will be at the next home game, hopefully. But it looked like everybody was really up for it. The kit, white kit, loads of banners in the crowd. But then the team went back and almost went into a defensive display from the start. Not necessarily defensive display, but certainly weren't going for it. And I think that has kind of took a lot of the wind out of the sails of the fans. And it gave Marseille a lot of impetus to actually get into the game. And from that point onwards, 11v11, they were in the game. Don't get me wrong. I think, as I said before, we were comfortable enough defensively, but I do believe that, you know, had they scored, it could have been a bit more of a tougher proposition. So let's look at the stats and then we can kind of make a decision as to what we think, you know, how we assumed the game was. Let me just get this onto. There we go. Let's do this. 1 second. Computer's being a bit slow at the moment. There we go. That's a bit better. So key stats. It's a little bit different. This Champions League, we've got a little bit more stats. 48 possession to 52. 51 attacks to their 46. 5 corners to 3. 87% passing accuracy to 88. Again, some of these stats I'm not sure, but if they mean anything. 430 to 440 in terms of passes completed. Passes attempted, very much the same, 493, 498. Balls recovered, 31 to 34. So you can see, even just going through these stats, even with 10 men, they still were pretty much the very similar stats. So that gives a little bit of a kudos to Marseille. But the all important stat is at the top, 2-0. You know, we can look through all of these. We can look at the red cards and say, oh, that's made a massive difference. But Harry Kane kind of touched on it last night, saying, well, it can be more difficult to play with 10 men. I do agree to a point. But when you have got 10 men, you've got to make the pitch as wide as possible. And eventually the goals came from creating a lot of more space on the pitch. Just looking at the key stats, I know it doesn't make any difference in terms of, you know, results matter at this stage of the competition. Get your 3 points. But there is a bit of a trend in terms of the way that we're playing at the moment, Darius. Do you think that method of playing would work against City, or is City just a completely different game? We're just going to come out doing what we need to do, because last season to do the double over City, we got a good winning streak against them.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, I think when it comes to the way Tottenham play, and this is specifically, you know, under Antonio Conte, it's similar to City when I say this, in the sense of we won't change how we play, and we will play one way, and there'll be tweaks, you know, to certain formations, maybe players, personnel, but the way we play will be pretty similar. We'll defend in two solid banks, two solid shapes, and the transition and counter is quick and it's one touch and it beats a press. And for me, when you look at teams like City, Arsenal, Liverpool, these teams press high and have a high line, and if they aren't going to change the way they play against us, it could be quite threatening. I expect us to be even more defensive than Wednesday against City, because it's away, and you've got Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is going to be playing up front, and if you think you can't put two men on him, and it might not even still make a difference, you're very, very mistaken. So I think it's going to be even more of a defensive display. And why I'm still confident that we actually could go and get a result, maybe not win, but I definitely think we could take points off City, is because the way they play allows us to really exploit space in behind. And if Richarlison, Kane, Son, or Kulusevski, whoever it is playing, they're always going to have space in behind to run. And I have now accepted, and I accepted this a long time ago, the way Conte plays, because one, it's proven in multiple leagues and on the international level, and he's proven it, you know, to actually work this season as well with us. I mean, we've taken 14 points from, you know, a few results that I think really and truly, you know, you look at the points we dropped, West Ham and Chelsea, we didn't pick up points at those places last season. So in my opinion, this is an amazing start to the season. We defensively look solid. I mean, after 6 games, I know you can say the performances haven't been great, but we've looked defensively solid. And I don't think any single game we've played, we've had, you know, all players on that team play well. There's always been Son or Basuma didn't have the greatest game, or, you know, Kulusevski may not have the greatest game. I don't think every single one of our best players have played well in the game. And that also gives me a lot of excitement, because it's just letting things click, and it will come, and we're still picking up points as we haven't been playing the greatest. So once we get better, I don't expect us to get any worse. I expect us to score more goals and get more chances. So I think it's more than positive. We keep winning. I don't see how Spurs fans can complain at winning. Like, you want performance, but we're getting points. We're getting points, and it's points over performance all day of the week.
Definitely can't complain at winning. I would be hypocritical to say, oh, I'd rather play well and lose. That makes absolutely no sense in any logic to me. But there are some fans who want both. They want to see good performances and they want to see the result.
Not Man City, man. We can't be asking.
I'm just going back to yesterday's. Man City will take care of itself. I think from yesterday, a lot of the fans expected us to be like going on the front foot, playing a style of game to kind of take it to Marseille, not realizing that Conte, as we've talked about, has a specific style that he doesn't really bend. Personnel, sometimes we always thinking, oh, why hasn't he changed this person? But we have to kind of trust the scientists, we have to trust the physios, we have to trust anything that he does to say, right, these players are still playing. Because I looked at the lineup and see that, I don't know about yourself. Oh, he's gone. Hey,
I'm coming.
That is the worst time in ever.
You had enough already? Good grief.
No, yeah.
I was going to say, and I'll come to the lineup in a minute, but when we saw the lineup yesterday, we were thinking not too many changes. What does this mean for Saturday's game? And I guess we just have to wait and see about Saturdays, when we're going to do our preview show later on today anyway. But what did you think when you saw the starting lineup? And then again, do you expect this to be the way we play in the Champions League for all teams? Because our group's not the hardest group in the world. We ain't got no PSGs, Juventuses, all the rest of them boys in there. But on paper, it looks like an easy group. But do you see Conte just saying, no, he's going to be, this is it. This is how we play. Lump it, like it, whatever you guys do.
I think when I'd done the preview show, I think my prediction was the team Kulu was going to start. And I went with Langley. I think I went with Davis. And I think they're the only two that, obviously, yesterday he's gone with form. Because on a normal day, he would have picked the same old trusted team. And we said that, didn't we? We discussed that it'd be the same old trusted team. But Saturday's performance against Fulham, Richarlison played well, Langley played well, and he stuck by them. So that's a new thing that we've learned, that Conte, if he brings in players and they play well, then they get to keep their place. Now, whether that was a tactical decision so that Kulu and Davies play on Saturday against Man City, we will never know. However, when I saw that team, I thought, interesting. He's gone with Langley, he's gone with Richarlison, so he's got faith in them, and it worked out brilliantly. And the best thing about it was, he took Langley off, he didn't take Richarlison off, he took Langley off, he took Son off, he took Bentancur off, he took all them players on. Tanganga got a run out, for God's sake. Wow. And
that's what I did when Tanganga came on. About.
Yeah,
I was like that.
And what's scarier is he wasn't even that bad.
No,
he
He
wasn't.
scored as well.
No.
He almost scored. That's what's scary. He actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, so I think he's testing these players out. We've been crying now, let's get these players in and embed them into the team. And he done that yesterday. So I think the answer to the second question you're saying, Sam, is I think this is a kind of tactical mindness now we're going to see with Conte in the Champions League. Next two games, like you said, they're not hard. Not any games are easy in the Champions League. However, Frankfurt and Sporting Lisbon won't be as easy as we all think. But I think he'll do what he's done yesterday, and he'll pick the players on form, and then he'll swap it around with 50, 60, 70 minutes, bring on fresh faces, because we can bring 5 subs on, and he'll utilize that. He did yesterday. He'll do that in the Champions League as well. And then, knockout stages is where the A team or the team tried and tested.
Knockout stages already, you know. Yeah. That's what I mean. Just go past that. Yeah. No, I agree.
Sam, I just wanted to mention, you know, you mentioned about how we place it, and like I said, and you mentioned, Sam, about, you know, you could still ask for more in terms of performance.
Mm-hmm.
We are unbeaten away in 2022, and we're still winning at home, and we picked the only team to pick up more points than us are City and Liverpool. For me personally, looking at, you know, the Arsenal United game from last weekend, they thought they could do what they'd done against the 6 teams before that, 5 teams before that, against Man United at Old Trafford, and look what happened to them. They looked great, but they still lost 3-1. So I would rather go at, you know, a team a little bit more defensively and pick up points at, you know, the Olympic Stadium and Stamford Bridge, then, you know, try and prove something to our fans and prove something to people who want to see performance, and then we go and lose. And then it's what? You're going to go to everyone and say, well, at least we had 80% possession. At least we had 25 shots. Nobody cares about that. It's points on the board. That's all that matters.
It's one of them things where I kind of get a little bit miffed sometimes when people, fans, and we've all done it. Oh, we played really well. We didn't win the game. At the end of the day, we didn't win. If you don't win a game of football, you can have 99,000 shots and not score, and the team can have 1 shot and score. The results that matter. You can then say, well, they didn't deserve it. Well, the results don't show that. They don't show 1-0 and say you didn't deserve it in brackets. It never says that. It's just the scoreline. So ultimately, we've just got to make sure that we get results. And if we're not playing fantastically on the eye, like how some people, I've even said it myself, it's not fantastic. But then I rewatched some of the games and I thought, no, there's an actual method to this. There's a method to how they settle. There's a method to, as we talked about, resting in defense. They're not resting in attack. So when we've got the ball, when City have the ball, that's when they usually rest because they keep so much possession. We're the opposite. When we haven't got the ball and we're in our compact shape, then we can rest and we go side to side. If they don't win the ball within that first 5-10 seconds, then it's retreat. But is it sustainable? I'm just going to go to what Pipes is saying here. Pipes, good to see you on. We want to see you on this actual lives, because I can't be just doing with your afro there like that. But it's good. I'm afraid Conte's tactics are not sustainable long term. This camping on the edge of our area, conceding midfield possession and playing on the break is not going to win you Prem. Our luck will soon run out. However, Pipes, defenses win leagues.
Oh, come on.
Do win leagues.
Pipes, can I just say to Pipes, okay, Conte's, they're not sustainable long term, right? However, if we're on the edge of the box and we're counter-attacking and we're winning games week in, week out, and we win the Prem, are you going to say, well, I'm not happy with that, blah, blah, blah? I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's all about results now. Tuchel got sacked for results. It's all about results at the end of the day.
100%.
To be fair, and I agree with you, and there's sort of, like I said, I think there's two things you think about when you think about the way we play. When we attack, we can sustain our attacks because we look threatening until the 90th minute. We look like we can counter attack until the 90th minute, and that's
Darius,
just
touch on this comment here from Chevio F. What do you think?
I think in terms of pressing, winning the ball back high, having multiple shots on goal, yeah, it may not be pleasing on the eye, but when you, like you said, Sam, look back at how we build our attacks from the bottom, from the base, it is attractive football. It's one touch, it's in and out. The ball goes to Kane, he turns, he makes it, like how the red card was, how we got the red card against Marseille. Quick interplay, Son makes a run in behind, it looks great. And this is the thing, I would rather us, sustain our energy, like you said, Sam, through defending, and then be able to sustain the attacks because we've held that energy in, and we can go and counter attack and transition and attack quickly for the whole 90 minutes. We look threatening for the whole 90. Whereas you look at Arsenal and City don't do it as much because they are an elite team with elite stamina. But you look at Arsenal, who are trying to replicate that, and they seem to gas out at 60, 70 minutes because they're pressing high and they're trying to, get the ball going in transition. They're always moving in and out. It's a lot of energy to expend. And if you haven't, scored 4 or 5 goals to make you comfortable, then, you're very susceptible to what happened to Arsenal and Man U scoring 3 goals. So I think at the end of the day, this is winning football. And like you said, Sam, as well, this is a great point. It's home and away you can play this sort of football. And I think that's priceless. If you don't have to change the way you play home and away, then I don't think that really, mentality-wise as well for the players, they know that they can play the same way home and away. It doesn't put that pressure on, that added pressure of being at Old Trafford or Liverpool, because that system works. So to be fair with you, and I've been a big critic of people like Mourinho who have been at the club, and maybe until November when we were top of the league, I then gave up. But I don't see that happening with Conte, partly because he's got a much better squad, but also partly because it's tweaked. Do you know what I mean? It's tweaked. You look at Real Madrid in the Champions League last season. How many Premier League clubs, PSG included as well in that, they play very similar to us in terms of defensive shape, quick transitions. They have the quality up front with Vinicius, Benzema, Rodrigo to transition quickly. They've got the passes in midfield to do that, and they win the Champions League doing it. Not saying we're like that, but I'm saying that's how we play football. We sustain that.
Sorry, I thought you'd finish. I was just going to ask Sid, as a fan, and I'll ask you as well, Daz, as a fan, this style of football is obviously good when you win. It's going to be tested when we play some teams. It's going to be tested at home, and it's going to be tested, obviously, when we lose as well. Is it going to be a problem for the fans? Are they going to be, because like I said, you could hear booing at half-time. It wasn't the best performance, and I'm thinking, booing at half-time already? If this is our first Champions League game, we've gone in at 0-0. Is this a sign of things to come if things don't go our way in terms of results?
Listen, every fan base, every club are fickle. When you're winning, they're 100% behind you. When you're playing flowing, entertaining football, they love it. When you start getting a bit boring, or the manager's got his tactics set out and the results are not going against you, then the fans will start. I mean, yesterday, the booing, I can understand that. It's first Champions League game in 2 seasons, and we've just not come at the races. We just didn't come out. I mean, Marseille didn't give anything in the game in that first half as well. But it was the way we lost the ball didn't stick, the simple passing wasn't happening, and the fans did get frustrated. But then when the goal went in, everyone forgets about it. So it swings in both ways. The fans can't have, and I think someone's put it in there as well, the fans can't have 90 minutes of flowing, entertaining football, because if you get that and you don't get a result, it's what you said, Sam. Oh, but we really played well. No.
That's what I'd do. If someone said that to me, oh, you played really well. So what?
So what? We didn't win. But if we play sort of condensed football, you get the flashes of brilliance every now and then in the game. Yeah. And then you score a good goal and you win the game. That's it. We didn't play too well, but when we needed to play well, when we needed to up the game and do the business, we've done it. We got the points. We move on. I would be happy with that. I'm not expecting to see flashes of brilliance every single game, right? Week in, week out, and win 1-0.
We've got individual players, though, Sid. We've got individual players that can win games for us. That's the difference
Exactly.
now, I think.
100%. I mean, Son's not doing it at all at the moment, but we got Kane doing it. We got Kulu doing it. Richarlison's coming now, and that's why Richarlison's been bought in, because when Son, Kane, whoever's having an off day, he can then bounce back into the side, provide that opportunity. Scored the 2 goals yesterday.
He can't be dropped now, though. That's the thing.
And he
can't
be
be dropped.
Exactly.
What we're going to do when we do our 5:30 when we do the preview show, we're going to look at the team in terms of who you guys think is going to be, because it's going to be bloody interesting who's going to be started. Because I'm thinking, is he rested Ben Davies for City? I'd rather see Longley there, be honest with you. But then again, I saw Ben Davies yesterday and I saw him throwing his head at the ball and I'm thinking, I can see why Ben Davies he's a utility man. I'm not going to lie to
you. I saw Longley defending, and it wasn't the fact that he can't defend, it's the fact that he delegated. It was sort of on the right side. He delegated that space to Dyer, and he covered Dyer's middle position. He doesn't look like he wants to defend. And now you couldn't think of a worse centre-back to do that against Haaland with. You know what I mean? You need every single one of your centre-backs needs to want to defend against him. So unfortunately, as much as the passing is important, I don't even think we're going to have the ball for that long.
Right.
So
We're
I'd
going to
rather
touch
just
on that
have
in the
3
preview
defenders.
show, because I think there's a method with the 3 at the back. There's a method you can play with Haaland, because it's not about just marking him, it's about marking the space as well. Haaland pulls players out of spaces to go into spaces. So you've got to almost have a bit of a zonal aspect to how you defend, particularly if you've got 3 at the back when you play someone like him who creates so much space. But I just want to touch on this because we're going bloody. Look at the time already.
I know.
We can chat. Bloody hell, you lot. I'm going to say it's you lot. It's not just me. UCL Group D table, Sporting top 3 points, us with 3 points, and that's all I'm really going to say about the group, because there's not much you can say after one game. We'll see what happens in the next round. But this was a starting 11 for us against Marseille yesterday. Lloris in goal, Dyer, Romero, Longley, although it's showing Dyer at the right-hand side, it's actually Dyer in the centre. Romero was on the right. Longley did, as you said, kind of interchange with Dyer in that central position when he was defending. Emerson, Højbjerg, Bentancur, Perisic, Son, Kane, Richarlison. Richarlison, for me, I love that player. Just for the fact that what we saw at the end of the game yesterday when the guy was in tears just shows me could you imagine Tanguy and Ndombele in tears like that because he's playing the Champions League game? No, never see that. I'm not saying that players have to not be emotional or shouldn't be emotional or not show their emotion, whatever it is, but you could see what it meant to him. And this is why I think that's the added 5-10% that puts the effort in. So if he's dropped, he's kind of like, right, I'm going to prove myself. I'm going to try and get back into this team. I don't want players moping and saying, oh, that's it, I've had enough. This is why I think Conte's method is really on a knife edge. Some players will either accept it and take it as a challenge. Other players, as we've seen in the past, are like, well, I'm not in the team now. I'm not here. I'll do it. I don't want to see that from any of our players.
You don't have time for that either. He'll shift them on quickly as well.
Very true. In terms of that starting 11, start with you, Sid. Is that the strongest we could have gone for yesterday? What do you think? Because I look at our squad and look at the bench now as well, thinking, oh yeah, we got some players in there. Skip, I forgot about Skip. What's he to Skip? You know what I mean? Sarr, not seen him. Spence, not seen him. Not seen Doherty apart from yesterday. He kind of looked like he was a skinny action man, by the way. The way he's looked like he's lost some weight there. Wow. His head looked like it could have been wobbling a bit much, but his body looked smaller. However, that's down to pre-season. When we touch on the preview show later on, we're going to touch more on the team. But again, are you surprised that we haven't had a lot of changes, or did you expect more changes yesterday?
No, because like I said to you, he's now got players that he wanted that he can now challenge for players. So like Kulu didn't play, so Richarlison came in for him, done the job. Davies didn't play, Langley came in for him, done the job. When the subs came on, done the job. So now we've got players that can come on and do the job. And it's good now that, I mean, looking at that bench now, I was like, wow, that's an interesting bench. That's, look at the bench. Last season, you wouldn't even thought about that. But look, now, everyone, you know what I mean? Everyone can come on to replace someone else, and it's not going to weaken the team, in my opinion.
Yeah. There's actually players on that bench, in my opinion as well, that are probably better than some of the players that played yesterday.
Yes.
And we still got the result. And if this is the case and we can rotate players in, it's all good for us. This is what Conte's always wanted. There wants to be no drop off between the starting 11 and the next 11, and he doesn't really call it an 11. But what we have seen is he does have players that he really trusts, and he's going to play them until they run red. So we have to accept that as well. But Bentancur played. I thought he had a fantastic game yesterday.
God, amazing.
I really thought he was a really good player. Richarlison is obvious. Kane and Son, again, not their best games, but again, as part of that front three, always looking dangerous. Emerson Raw's a player that I just want to quickly touch on, because this brother
God.
now.
Do we have to?
No, just quickly. No, I will touch on him a bit more. I don't know. He's got something, whether it's pictures, whatever it is, he's got something. But I looked at him now. He's an athlete. He can get up and down. He needs a bit more quality in terms of his attacking. But I can understand now why Conte's actually playing him, because
No,
I know what you're going to say.
I'm not having it. As soon as he came off and Kulusevski came on the pitch, and we had a right wing back who could actually beat his man. How many times did he beat Tavares, put ball in the box? And that is how, it's not how we scored, but that impetus of going forward on both sides is how we got the goal. The ball from Perisic, the ball from Højbjerg on the left-hand side to put both those crosses in for Richarlison to head, because those players in that position can put a ball in the box. He can't do it. As much as he's an athlete, he can't cross. And that's what I need him to do. So I can't take this athlete talk, because Doherty's an athlete now. Conte turns everybody that he trains into an athlete. So I can't take it. I can give the flowers go to Bentancur, Højbjerg, Richarlison for me. They were the standouts in that game. But Emerson, Sam, I need you to stay strong and keep the agenda going. I need you to stay strong, because you can't be justifying these performances. Because as soon as Kudu came on, completely different game. Sorry, Sam. I had to cut in there. I'm sorry.
Do you know what it is? I don't know what you're right. There's something somewhere that Royal's got. But
it's Conte's nudes. That's what it is. It ain't no something innate or anything. It's Conte's pictures. That's what it is. That's what.
The thing is, it looks like he's the comedian out of him, Richarlison and Mora, and that trio. Yeah, I think they're going to become the Three Amigos. You know, we just got to dress them up in the Three Amigo outfits, and they can become the South American Three Amigos. But yeah, you're right. There is something about Royal, and I think sooner or later, I think Doherty is going to replace him.
I'm not saying I want Doherty to replace him. I just want to see what difference he brings. Yeah. I've seen what Raw brings. I've seen he's getting better, but he's never going to be a Perisic on the right-hand side. He's not going to be that player to beat a player, cross with either foot, get to the byline loads of times. He's not going to be that player. Doherty was doing that. I would love to see Spence get an opportunity to do that, because I think he can. But we're not there every day in training, so we don't know what happens. We can't make too many more. Well, we can make assumptions as much as we like, but obviously we don't know any facts. Right then, we've got to do this again a bit later on, and we're going to do the preview for the Man City game, which will be very interesting. The stats on the Man City one are interesting in itself, but that is going to be a different level of performance that's going to be required. If you perform like that and City get any opportunities, their chance creation and their clinicalness in front of goal might be a problem for us. But I think our defensive style of things, we can certainly be up there with them. Let's just have a quick shout out to those viewers watching. Craig Bowler in the house, thank you very much. Pipes71, we know where you are, so we'll come find you later, Pipes. Audio Artisan, Chevio, thank you for watching. Shayla Vieira, Tunde Olawi, thank you for watching. Daryl Denton as well. Lots of people in the house in this afternoon. Too Hottie Entertainment. There's some names going on in this chat, isn't there, today? Different one. It must be the afternoon. There must be some afternoon vibes going on. Last comment here. Let's just see what it's saying here. Big up, guys, from FTSN Cole. Colin, that might be. Is it Colin?
Colin. Yeah. I've got, before we go, I've just got something. What day is it today? Thursday, right? It's Thursday. I've just got to say, don't you wish your players played on a Wednesday? Don't ya?
I'm going to sit back with a nice beer tonight and watch two clubs have a mid-off in the Europa League. I can't wait.
That's why I did it.
FC Zurich. Oh, my God.
That's why I did the 5:30. So, sorry, go on, Sid.
So I was going to say, and I hope the players tonight playing for them have as much excitement and passion as Ramsdale did for that BT Sport advert promoting Europe League on a Thursday night.
Back, baby.
We're back, baby!
But you know that BT music was time for on Thursday night. I'm going to record that and play it to some Arsenal fans. I thought it was quality.
Oh,
Whoever
it's
did
gonna
that
be
was
fun.
bloody genius because it sounds like a proper European Song Contest track.
Like I said,
and
Sam,
Arsenal are going to be listening
somebody
to that.
Somebody should be arrested for allowing CR37 to play in the Europa League. He should not be playing in the Europa League. It's a crime.
Oh,
It is a
it's
crime.
funny as hell. Please drop
Crime.
a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Look out for us later on today, 5:30. These two guys will be back again and we're going to preview the Manchester City game. I'm looking forward to that game because this is really, we've had the Chelsea, we've had the West Ham test. If this is not a test away from home, we're never going to get a bigger one this season, I don't think. But I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful that the way I've seen us play, we ain't going to concede many. Oh, touch wood and all the rest of it. But I can see it being a tight game. But we'll do that later on. Anyway, that is enough now. Thank you very much. PAXTON ROAD TV. Art Sid says, when is that back? Art Sid.
Well, I was going to bring you back in a couple of weeks, but this thing in my head, yeah, I'm going to have to do it soon. And I think, honestly, I'm going to have to get the team together. I'm going to have to bring back Robbie and everybody. And we're going to have to bring the team back together. And I'm going to do it because it's now the final piece, I think, has been put into my place. And it's going to be time to reveal it. And it's going to be within the next week. I'm going to do it.
Cool.
It's got to be done.
Look out for Art Sid as he comes back. Judge Jodi for the game after on Saturday. Also, the reaction show on Saturday. One of these two. Or Deji will be hosting that because I'm away, unfortunately. But I'll get to see the result, but can't get onto the reaction show. But I'm hopeful. We're in it now. We're in the season, lads. We're in the Champions League. We're in, the league. We're top four. We've got the cup game against Forest to come in the Carabao Cup. Whatever being as in the FA Cup. It's a long, long season, and we've already seen it's a strange season. I told you, lot, didn't I? I told you. Look what's happened to Chelsea. Look what's happened to Liverpool.
You know what he's saying now, Sid? He's saying Klopp's not safe.
Klopp's not safe, fam. I'm telling you.
I can't. I don't even see how that's a possibility at the moment.
Got to answer the door. So.
Oh, well, we're finishing then. Say goodbye to the goot. Say goodbye to the guests.
Bye, everyone. See you later.
Bye, everybody. He's gone.
Michelle, and I'm out.
We're also going as well. Darius, catch you later.
We'll see you later.
Catch you later. And where's the music? Because I was just going to end the stream there, but I've actually got some outro music to go. Where is it? Sid's done this one for me. Let me see it. Where is it? Oh, bloody hell. This is what I'm saying. Here we go. And we out.